because we're gonna start with white glaze first. And I always try to put it at the top of the tree mostly. Then you have to push the lids back so you can get it around the outside edge, and you put it so it's barely touching the tree. You'll see if it doesn't touch the tree, you're gonna get places like this. And it's okay, it's not gonna matter because you're marbling. So just try to get it so it sits against the tree. If your trees are not centered is when it kind of skips a spot. So you wanna get some white on there first, not a ton because you're just gonna waste all the extra glaze. You'll see the glaze is gonna start to run down here on the back. It's okay, just let it go, we'll wipe it off later. And then you can take your second color for whatever you wanna use. Just make sure you push the caps back so they don't touch too much. Keep your wheel just going slow for right now so that you can go around the tree but not touch the tree. And you want to apply the glaze in bands around the tree. The more bands you have, the more it's going to start to move down the tree to marble. And then once you get a few bands of that color, you're gonna put the next band of color. Make sure your wheel's going really, really slow to put your color bands on here. And you wanna keep the bands up towards the top because you know gravity's gonna make the glaze pull down the tree anyway, so you don't need to put a bunch at the bottom because it's just gonna waste it as it slides down the tree. So try not to put the bands of glaze too thick. Oops, I just touched. And if you touch, it's okay, because you just can apply more glaze right over the top. And you just put the color bands on there until you get your tree kind of filled in. So if you have a place down here where you have a bunch that's not covered yet, oops, just squeeze more glaze on there to get that covered. You can see there's a ton that gets wasted. You can't really help it, it's just the marbling part of it. So then you look at it. If you don't like it like this, you just add another band of whatever color you want to have the most of on here. Remember, just turn your wheel on really slow when you're putting the band of color on there. And then you can see how it blends in. So you can see if you get a bunch, or if you're really slow. So you can also just kind of drip a band, and then you'll see how it runs down more to marble. And then when you get it pretty covered, turn the wheel on faster, and it makes the glaze run down the tree, and that's what gives you the marble look. If you get this big mess around, it's okay. Just take your sponge and literally like scoop up the big puddles of glaze. And you can rinse it in your bucket. You just have to make sure you don't dump this back into the clay buckets because it'll literally turn the clay we have over there green or color. And we don't want all that. So when you're finished, you want to scoop all the extra glaze off the bat until you get this cleaned all the way up. Because then we let them sit right on the bat until they're completely dry, and they'll just pop right off then. You don't have to trim it off or anything. So just keep your wheel on slow until you can get your bat cleaned off. And you want to get most of the glaze cleaned off the bat so you don't have a bunch of glaze on here. Just make sure you don't really touch your tree a bunch at the bottom. And then that's all you have to do for the glaze part of it. It's just marbled like that. Thank you.